Jared here, back for another one on TME. Welcome back, everyone. We are currently making our way westward on I-10. We're gonna roll through Baton Rouge real quick and then continue our way westward on I-10. I'm headed over to Sulphur, Louisiana. I hope the place doesn't smell like sulfur. But anyway, there's a hurricane on the way. It's supposed to make landfall sometime tomorrow. I was supposed to deliver this load today over there in Sulphur, and because of tire troubles on my trailer, I'm actually being postponed until tomorrow to make the delivery. So it might get kind of interesting in this video, not only because I don't ever come to Louisiana, but also because every time I do come to Louisiana, the weather gets bad. So we're gonna see how this goes. Now we're getting onto I-10. We've been on I-12, or at least I have. You guys weren't there. But I'm coming off of I-12 now. It's the end of it, I think, and getting on to I-10. When we do that, we're going to kind of shift direction a little bit, and the landscape, the scenery is going to shift as well. So there's a lot of swamp out there where we're headed, a lot of land bridges and that type of stuff. So I hadn't been out here in a really long time. I'm talking, it's kind of like the same situation where I made the last video in St. Louis. Well, it's been even longer since I've been in Louisiana. I'm trying to remember, I don't even know, you guys. I want to say like maybe 2017, 2018 since I've been over here. So it's been a long time. I think what I was trying to say earlier, and I forgot to say it, is that Sulphur, Louisiana, it's between Lafayette, Louisiana, which is, it will be east of that city, and I'm sorry, it would be west of Lafayette, and it would be east of like Houston, Texas. I picked this load up yesterday in Atlanta. And other than the issue I had with my trailer tire, just pretty much been going the whole time driving. I took my break, of course. But yeah, it looks like traffic's getting kind of bad. I was hoping I'd be able to get some of the city. So we hit that the part where I-10 goes off this way in a couple miles. I'm pretty sure I remember being able to see the city pretty good, so I was hoping to get that. Yeah, so it kind of splits up here. You got I-110 that goes into downtown Baton Rouge. Good grief. Here's a little view of the city. Sorry, I got ants in my truck because of where I have to park it when I go on break. And they think I taste good, so they like to bite me. Even while I'm driving, I keep having to slap ants off of me. I'm glad they're not fire ants. They're just those little black ants. Yeah, there's a view of Baton Rouge, and we're about to go over this big bridge. We're shifting direction now a little bit. Pretty cool. Port down there. We got a long way to go on I-10. And actually, I don't think I've ever been on I-10 west of Lafayette, so I'll be going into a new area that I've never even been to before. I've never been on that portion of I-10 between Lafayette and Houston. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I keep getting these extreme emergency alerts popping up on my phone because of the hurricane. But it's not actually going to make landfall until tomorrow. As you can see, there's kind of some overcast going on right now. It's like the calm before the storm, I think. It's not anything that I want to trifle with, but I just kind of found myself getting dispatched to come over here. And it is September, so it's hurricane season. It's in full effect, and I just so happen to, like, any time in my past of truck driving experiences, being over the road and whatnot, anytime I ever went west of Mississippi, if I had to go to Texas or something like that, like every time I make that pass through those areas, the weather has always been bad. There's tornadoes, there's hurricanes, tropical storms. I'm sure you guys are familiar. But yeah, it just seems like bad weather every time I come over here, even though it's been years since I've even been here in this area. Okay, so we're starting to reach that area now that I was talking about initially. With the land bridges. seems to be some kind of slowdown up ahead. It's a 25-minute slowdown. So, yeah, that's a thing. I know that they shut this road down a lot, though. I do know that because, you know, something happens out here on this road, you're kind of just isolated, and well, you get stuck on this road, you're kind of screwed. Now, one thing about this road is that when hurricanes hit the coast, you've obviously got an issue with storm surges and it floods. So this road can also get flooded, and it happens a lot, where the water level gets so high it's not safe to be on the road. I mean, I don't know if it actually gets submerged completely underwater, but it's a common thing. So that's another thing, is that tomorrow after I deliver this load and I'm headed back out of here, I might not be able to come back this way. I don't know. They could pretty much close this road at any point. I mean, they already closed it last night. I was looking at the GPS last night, just looking at my route, and they had I-10 shut down this part of it, and I don't know why. I thought it might have something to do with the storm, but it may have just been an accident or something. I don't know. But yeah, we'll come across some pretty nice looking views as we're making our way west, and I'll try to get those. Try to find me some boudin while I'm down here. It's really cool being out here. It's a very interesting area, but I'm glad that I don't have to drive on this road that often, because think about the extra challenges associated with things like road maintenance and all that stuff, and when there are accidents, the kind of additional problems that it must cause for the traffic, because of, you know, you're on this bridge, you're kind of just out here, and the exits are far apart, you know. So like I said previously, if something goes wrong on this road, you're screwed. You can't even get off this bridge. And then you got the whole thing with the weather on top of all that. So yeah. So yeah, it might be kind of boring to watch, but I do think it's interesting. But tomorrow's gonna be extremely interesting just to see, try to find out, you know, what the weather's gonna do and how the hell I'm gonna get out of here, because I gotta get dispatched out of here. They gotta find me a load, and the only thing that's really gonna make sense logically is if they find a load going west, or if they can find a load going north. But you know, as far as going east, that's gonna cause problems because of the hurricane. So I mean, we already know by, you know, the weather forecast that the hurricane is coming up the Gulf of Mexico, and it's gonna like veer northeast as it comes up onto land. So I need to try to stay away from that area. I need to go in a different direction than the direction of the storm. But because of the nature of all these other circumstances and aspects and everything, I might not have a choice. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Cool right here. See the little channel in between the east and westbound side of I-10. Lake Pelba. Doesn't look like a lake, it looks like a river. That's cool. You see all the cypress trees down there with the knees coming up out of the water. It's pretty cool. Oh, here we go. That's nice. Check that out. Henderson Swamp. I don't know what it is on this flatbed in front of us, but we appear to be staring down the barrel of it, whatever it is. What the heck is that? It looks kind of menacing, whatever it is. Is that like have something to do with oil drilling or something? I don't know. We're about 50 miles east of Lake Charles right now, and our destination's on the other side, so about 65 miles away from where I have to deliver tomorrow. And we appear to have reached the slowdown. Right here. Although it doesn't really look that bad. Not really. It doesn't look as bad as it did. Still pretty bad though. So I've been using this Hammer truck GPS more. It wants me to pay for it, but it hasn't like officially like kicked me out or said I couldn't use it without paying for it. It just keeps like every time I open the app up, it has like this option to subscribe for like $3.95 a month or something like that. It's pretty cheap. But I've been using it more often, and what I like about it is that it shows you where a lot of the truck stops are, even the small truck stops. It'll show you where they are. And that just makes it so much easier to gauge, because I've come from a background of like a very formal way of operating when it comes to truck driving. Like I was formally trained by a mega carrier. They taught me how to do things. They had a pretty good strategy. I'm talking about Schneider. They taught me how to trip plan. They taught me how to do all that stuff. And a lot of the stuff that I do in this job, I would have never been able to do working for Schneider. And what I mean by that is, like, with this job, I'm having to fly by the seat of my pants, more or less, most of the time. It's really hard to trip plan with this job because I don't ever know what's coming next. With a job like Schneider or something like that, not only are you, you know, 2 steps ahead at all times, they force you, they require you to plan ahead just to do the job. Like it's a mandatory thing where you have to plan everything out and you have to provide them with information. Well, I don't do that with this job because he just throws stuff at me. Sometimes he throws stuff at me. When I say that, I mean like he'll put loads on me. Sometimes they don't even work. Sometimes they're not even compatible with my hours of service. So I just have to figure out the best way to try to make it work when that happens. And so I can't really plan ahead that much. And sometimes even when I do plan ahead, I find that surprises pop up. Like I get flat tires or something like that. And it always changes my original plan. Not always, but a lot of times it will change my original plan, my original trip plan that I actually had time to make. So the good thing about this Hammer truck GPS is that it always shows you where the truck stops are. That way, you know, I could say, all right, I've got X amount of time left to drive and I want to try to make it this far. Well, instead of having to do all this extra work to try to figure out where the truck stops actually are, shit. Okay, we're coming to a complete stop. Instead of doing all that, this thing will just lay it out for me. It'll tell me where all the truck stops are. And then I can try to you know, just gauge whereabout I would like to stop and take my break, or anything else like that. And it's just extremely convenient. I really appreciate that technology. I could have been using this thing this whole time, but I don't know, sometimes I didn't have anything to prove to anybody. But sometimes, I don't know, I just naturally, I'll lack the common sense to utilize things to make the job easier for myself. Sometimes I just do it the hard way, just naturally. I try to do everything manually instead of utilizing technology. But here lately, I've really been appreciating the technology that's in this app, and the fact that you can use it for free is even better. That's all I'm really saying. Like right now, I'm not moving. I'm gonna try to find a truck stop that's close to my exit for when I deliver. There's actually one right there in Sulphur. There's another one right there. Let's see, I'm 56 miles away. This truck stop right here is 43 miles. That means it's about 13 miles away from where I have to deliver. That's pretty good. It actually gives you the address. It's not going to tell you how many spaces are there, but what you can do is you can take that address. I can look it up on Google Earth and see how big it is. The parking lot seems pretty medium sized, but it also looks like it's pretty dang full in that picture. So what does that mean? Does that mean I'm gonna have to anticipate not having a parking spot whenever I get there? Well, possibly, but I saw another truck stop that's even closer to where I have to deliver. So if that one's full, I've got another option. I've got something to back me up. So it just makes it so much easier to plan things on the fly. And unlike, you know, the terms or the conditions, the circumstances that I would have if I were working for Schneider or something like that, I'm not trying to come up with all these definitive numbers to provide my dispatcher with as far as when am I going to be available to receive my next dispatch or anything like that. I don't have to figure all that stuff out. Well, I might not get as close as I originally planned on getting, or a lot. I can't even say originally planned. There was no original plan, at least not since I got a flat tire. So instead of being 13 miles away, if I stop at this Love's and take my break, I'll be 26 miles away. And the freaking road sucks right now. The traffic is pretty bad. It's pretty congested. So if I stop at this Love's, they actually have a parking spot. You know what helps? Turn signals. Then I can take a shower here, which is good. I need a shower, so I'll be here for a while too. It's only 3 right now. The real question is, will they have a parking spot? Looks like in the back, maybe. Yeah, I'll stop here. Might as well. There's a lot of truck stops out here. Again, we're not that far from Houston. I just can't believe he dispatched me. My next load is kind of crazy, guys. He dispatched me to go all the way to Statesboro, North Carolina If you're familiar, that's off of 95. That's like up there below Richmond, Virginia. That's a long ass way away from here. And it looks like the appointment time for that load is gonna set it up to where that'll be my last load for the week. And it's only Tuesday today, so that one's gonna take a while to get done for sure. Try to get more centered in my space. You guys noticed my backing skills with these spread axle trailers. I've improved since I've been doing this job the past year. I tend to try to take really shallow angles and cuts when I'm backing up for obvious reasons. A good way to destroy a tire on one of these flatbed trailers is to try to back up or take a really sharp turn when you got weight on the trailer, because that front axle on the trailer, the tires, they'll just skid across the asphalt, and it'll, depending on how much weight you got on your trailer, it can really mess your tires up doing that. So I try to avoid it. Try to take shallow cuts and angles. Guys, I guess it's time for an update. Sitting at a truck stop in Sulphur, Louisiana. This is actually the one that I was going to stop at yesterday. I changed my mind, decided I wanted to take a shower and stay at that Love's. I'm glad I did that, but I say one thing: I'm not glad that I got my butt out of bed and went to work this morning right away, because it's been pretty much a complete waste of time. Now, I made my way over here from Lake Charles, which is the next city over to the east. Made my way west about 20 some odd miles, if that, and got off right here off of I-10. It's right over there. Now, I got there at 7. I told you guys yesterday, I believe I told you, that the load was supposed to be delivered by 3 yesterday. Well, I didn't get a flat tire on my trailer, but basically, just put it this way: crappy recap tire on the trailer. Half of the freaking tread came off of the tire when I was driving. So I had to get that fixed yesterday morning, which held me up, which meant that I wouldn't make it here by 3 o'clock. I was about an hour late getting in. Now, what I was told by my company is that, well, they're probably not going to take you if you get there after 3. So you might as well wait until in the morning, and that's what I proceeded to do. But when I showed up there this morning, I'm sorry I didn't film it. They don't allow cameras or anything else. What you guys have to realize is that we are in Sulphur, Louisiana. There's a reason why they call it Sulphur, Louisiana, and I discovered this soon after arriving. But this is like a big oil refining, drilling kind of place, where this is the Gulf, right? So this place I'm taking this aluminum to is very, very safety focused, and obviously, you know, for great reason, like OSHA, all that stuff. I had to watch a 30-minute video just to check into the place this morning. And, well, when I got there, they were like, we don't really know why you're here. There's nobody here to unload you. We shut the plant down because of Hurricane Francis. And we're going to make some phone calls and see if we can get somebody to unload you, but you shouldn't be here. So I sat there for 2 hours and went in a couple times to talk to the security guard after watching their safety video. And at first she was like, okay, well, we're getting in touch with somebody with logistics, and they might have somebody that can operate a forklift to unload you. So after 2 hours of waiting, I went back in, and they're like, yeah, we told your company specifically yesterday that you shouldn't show up today, that you should, don't come in on Wednesday. It's Wednesday today. Today's the big day. It's the hurricane day. We told your company for you not to show up because you're not going to get unloaded. Well, that's not what my company told me yesterday, and that's not what the broker told my company yesterday. So, somewhere along the lines, I don't think my company specifically spoke to anybody at the place, but the broker did, and I think the broker kind of misled my company. Or the place that I am supposed to deliver to, they said one thing yesterday and then they changed their minds today. Well, guys, I'm looking at this hurricane, and it is going to make landfall today, and I am on the coast in Louisiana. I'm about 40 miles north of Holly Beach. I'm going to show you guys where I am on the map real quick. Okay, so I'm going to open up the weather radar. As you can see here, whoops. As you can see here, I'm in Sulphur. And the blue dots right there, that's where I'm at. Okay. Now the good news is that it looks like the hurricane's gonna bypass Lake Charles, and it's gonna sack Baton Rouge. It's probably gonna go somewhere between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, from the look of it. They said this joker has an eye on it that's over 60 miles wide, but it's still just a Category 1 hurricane. And right now they're saying the strongest wind they've recorded is 90 miles an hour. Well, I'm not an expert at storms, or definitely not hurricanes, but if you look at it, that squall is all going this way. So the rotation, it's going counterclockwise. So the squall and, like the outer bands, all that impact is over here. So that's good news for me because, again, I'm right here. So it looks like the worst part of the storm is actually going to go right past me. I looked at it. The last time I looked, it said I was about 160 miles away from the eye of it. So as long as it keeps going in this direction, I think I'll be all right as far as wind and storm damage and debris and all that stuff. But the bad thing is, as I was saying yesterday, they're concerned about the surge. And what the surge is it's like the wind pushing the ocean water up. And from what I understand, this is going to happen. It's going to make landfall during high tide. So the tide is actually going to be higher up, for the fact that it's high tide. And that's when it's going to make landfall. Well, because of that, from the forecast that I'm looking at, they're actually, again, I've already done the little line right there to show you that the surge is going to be really bad. Like this whole area right here is where the surge is going to come back, because they also said that because the wind, I'm acting like I'm a meteorologist, you guys, this is kind of fun. I'm not, I'm just an idiot sitting in a truck that's bored out of my mind. I'm not a meteorologist, but look, they said that because of the rotation of the hurricane and the fact that the wind is going this way, it's pushing the wind west, so it's pushing water west toward me, which means it's going to be pushing the ocean water in that direction too, because it's rotating counterclockwise. And though I said I'm 40 miles away from the coast, I'm also really close to this lake right here. There's two of them. There's the Calcasieu, however you say that lake, and then there's also this black lake right here. There's two huge lakes just to the south of me. So if there's anything that I have to worry about sitting here, it's going to be the storm surge. It's going to be the rising water. Now, I don't know that anything's going to happen. I'm still quite away. I mean, I'm not that far, but I am still quite away from the coast. 40 miles from right here, Holly Beach. So I don't know, guys. This kind of sucks. You know, I was supposed to go pick up that other load north of here and deliver it in Statesboro, North Carolina. It's either Statesboro or Statesville. I told you guys that was off of 95. It's not. It's off of 85. It's northeast of Charlotte, obviously. Of course. You know, my boss, he's not going to pass up any trip that I make, any of the weeks that I work, without sending me to Charlotte. Even on the weeks when he sends me almost all the way to freaking Houston, apparently he's going to try to fit a load going through Charlotte into that agenda. No matter what, I'm always going to be going to Charlotte. But I might not be this time, because I was supposed to go pick that load up after this, and now, you know, the fact that I'm having to wait until 7 o'clock in the morning. It's only 10:30 in the morning right now. I'm literally going to be sitting here for the next 20 hours. And so, yeah, it kind of sucks. If that load falls through, then it's going to be a loss of income for me, a big loss of income. It's going to be like getting kicked in the nuts financially for me if I miss that load. But if I still get that load and I'm late, I'm over 24 hours late picking it up, it's still got to be delivered in Statesville or Statesboro. I can't remember which one. In North Carolina, it's due by Friday, and it's over, I mean, from here, it's like over 1,000 miles of driving. And so I don't think I'm going to make it by Friday, and I'm definitely not planning on staying out this weekend. I want to go back home. So I don't really know what's going to happen from here, but I wanted to update you and let you know that, you know, this is what's going on. Yes, there's a hurricane coming. I think I'm in the clear from the look of the radar, from the look at what the meteorologists are saying. There's still going to be a pretty bad storm going on here, like tropical storm kind of weather. But it's not going to be the hard impact area, because it looks like to me that by the time it gets over here to this side, again, because of the direction that it's moving in, it's going to, actually I don't know. It's going counterclockwise. My camera on the front facing side of my phone is backwards, so I don't actually know which direction to rotate my hand in. But yes, I think I got really lucky, because if I was still in Baton Rouge right now, if I was in New Orleans, if I was anywhere, you know, Lafayette, any of those places, I'd be screwed. I would be screwed. But I think because I drove as far as I did yesterday, I'm actually kind of in the clear right now. I don't have too much to worry about, except for the surge. If the surge becomes that big of an issue, then yeah, it might be a thing. But again, being 40 miles inland from the coast, I think I'm okay. But I don't know for sure. I've never been in a hurricane before. I've never been this close to a hurricane. I've outran plenty of them. Now, I remember back in 2020 when the pandemic was going on, I was actually headed over to Laredo, no, not Laredo,
San Antonio, Texas, and Hurricane Laura came up through here, and that was pretty bad. But I did outrun that one. I ended up taking the northern route from Atlanta, which is I-20, and by the time I had reached Shreveport, Louisiana, the storm had already came through, and it did decimate some stuff up there. So instead of taking the southern route, which I did decide to do this time, take I-10, and I took the northern route that time. Anyway, I'll stop talking, and I guess we'll catch up after this. If the weather starts getting really bad, so I'll try to film some of it like a news anchor or something. This is what's going on in Sulphur, Louisiana. Look at the sky. Look at that cloud. It's very dark. Yes, we got a little bit of wind going on here. Well, we did a second ago. It stopped. It's camera shy. All right, I'll see you guys. All right, guys. I'm about 6 hours into my little hunker down session. I've been here at this truck stop since 10:30 this morning, and it's now 4:30. So, like, not a lot of change. The wind's blowing a little bit. I feel extremely blessed right now, and I don't say that lightly, because I know that, you know, people, potentially millions of people are going to be affected by the storm, and it's a pretty big deal. I've been watching it, tracking it live, and it's getting pretty bad. They just well, let's go to the radar. Let's go to the radar. Hang on.
That's technically possible in a very like.
I've been streaming Ryan Hall, y'all. Actually, CB, you know who you are, or you're watching this video. You're probably not. You've left a comment on my channel before. I saw your comment in his live chat feed. So what's up, dude? I'm watching the same thing. I'm in Lake Charles right now. I don't know if you're around Louisiana or not, but you're watching it too. So maybe you are. If you are, what's up? Let me go over to my radar app, and I'll show you again where I'm at. I'm right here, and so far all is well with me. Like I said, I feel blessed right now. I feel extremely fortunate to be where I am. Because, I mean, you guys watched it yesterday. I came through here. I took I-10. I was going through all these areas right here where this hurricane's about to hit land. By the way, they just updated it, and it's got wind speed of over 100 miles an hour. So they were right about when they said that it was going to ramp up to a Category 2. Or they projected that before it made landfall. Well, now it's hitting land, and it's now a Category 2. They just, like I said, they just registered wind speed of over 100 miles an hour. And so, yeah, guys, like, I'm literally just right outside of the band, the outer band of it. So there's not really going to be anything happening here. And as far as like the surge and everything, all that, I'm good. I'm well off the coast, so I'm not gonna have any issues where I'm at. So it's just a matter of sitting here, I was saying prayers for the people in southeast Louisiana, and then, I mean, on top of that, it's gonna keep going. They're saying it's gonna go all the way up through Jackson, Mississippi, and all the way up there. And it's still going to be a hurricane when it gets up there. That's what Ryan said. And then up, like, Memphis is going to get, like, flash flooding and all that stuff. But even, like, as I was saying before when I was trying to explain the the rotation of it and everything that's coming back, well, even that part of the storm is north of me now. So like this little area that I'm in right here is just, this is like the safe zone, I guess, because it's been calm here the whole time. No problems, no issues whatsoever. I mean, the people that turned me away this morning, well, they didn't come to work. Well, I mean, all that was just avoidable, but I realized they didn't know. They didn't know for sure where it was going to hit land at. And it's just crazy. I can't really explain to you like how crazy it is to be this close to a freaking Category 2 hurricane and to be in this little safe pocket right here. It's just, it blows my mind, you know. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it, guys. I will pick back up in the morning unless anything drastic happens between now and then. I don't think it will. I think I'm good, you know. Very, very, very fortunate here. Very blessed to be where I am, and I'm glad that I stayed put. I'm glad I didn't try to go pick up that other load, because it's already a mess, but it's just gonna leave a path of destruction behind it, you know. Like it's not gonna be easy for anybody that's trying to go northeast from Louisiana at this point. And so I think I'm good. I think I'm in the best possible place that I could possibly be right now, you know. But I will pick back up in the morning when I go deliver this load. I'm going to show you guys what Sulphur looks like, the city that I'm in right now. And it's kind of crazy. The way it looks, it's like it's just a bunch of like oil refinery plants and stuff with the big towers and the lights. It looks pretty crazy in the dark with all the lit up lights on the towers and everything. It reminds me, I don't know if you guys are video gamers or not, but like Sonic the Hedgehog 2, way back in the day, Sega Genesis, there was a level, I think it's called Oil Ocean Zone, and it reminds me of that stage on Sonic the Hedgehog 2. The way it looks, I'll show it to you. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the morning. Thanks for watching.
Might be kind of hard to see. It's still a little dark out here. Wanted to show you guys Sulphur, what it looks like. And I just woke up to a bunch of news alerts about the hurricane. A lot of flooding, a lot of damage. Still going. It's up there. It reached Jackson now. I think it's pretty safe to say that it's a tropical storm at this point, though. It's been downgraded. But check this place out, if you can, despite the window and everything. Look at this place. It's crazy looking. It reminds me of Sonic the Hedgehog, that one level I was talking about. So yeah, as you can see, this area right here, it was not affected by the hurricane at all. Except for the fact that everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people got the day off yesterday. Including me. I don't like taking days off when I'm in the truck, though. That's one thing I don't like doing. If I was at home, it would be different, but stuck in this truck, no, that's not fun. no good. Alright, then the road, it does like a sharp turn right here. 15-mile-an-hour turn. What the hell was that? I think I ran over something. Alright guys, we're headed out of here now. Going over this bridge. This is Lake Charles right here. I-10. And I'm still going up to DeRidder, Louisiana to pick this lumber up, although as I was saying yesterday, might not get delivered till Monday, and I'm thinking, I mean, that's a definite thing, right? But I wanted to show you this view real quick. It's pretty cool, pretty awesome looking. After I pick this load up, I'm thinking I might be bold and still try to go back eastward using the southern route, because I would rather go through Mobile, and if I'm going back to Jackson tomorrow, then I would definitely rather go up through Mobile and then go up 85 through Montgomery, or actually like on the other side of Montgomery, and I just think that's a better option because I don't like going through Birmingham. If I can avoid that, I will. Also, if I go the 85 route, then I'm not going to have to go up to 285 to get back to Jackson. Pretty slow week. I only delivered 2 loads this week, and it's Thursday. But I mean, the second load that I did was really long. You know, it was over 700 miles, so with that and the fact that I was grounded yesterday with the hurricane, I just didn't make any money this week. So we're gonna get off the interstate up here in 2.5 miles onto US 171. And as I said much earlier in this video, this is all uncharted territory for me. Never driven on this part of I-10, and I've never been over here in this southwest part of Louisiana to pick anything up or anything like that. I've been to New Orleans, I've been to Opelousas, I've gone across the state on I-20. I've been to West Monroe, where the Robertson clan is from Duck Dynasty. I did that years ago. But I've never been down here, and I've never been this close to Houston on the Louisiana side. Guys, I have a lot of news to give you as an update. Not a whole lot, but some things have happened since that last video I made. I'm not talking about the food service stuff, I'm talking about the one I made just before that. Wow, this road, US 171, it goes all the way up to Shreveport. I want to do that in a separate video and maybe put that video, I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but for those people that watch my content that don't watch it in its entirety because my videos are too long, for the sake of those people, I'd like to make a separate video to share this information with everybody. But guys, basically, as of September 5th, I'm no longer in the SAP program. I completed it. I'm not doing follow-up testing anymore. I'm done. My clearinghouse still has a violation on it, but it's no longer an open violation, it's closed. And my clearinghouse file is going to be like that for the next 4 years, because it's already been 1 year. But yeah, it's over, guys. I did it. I finished. I actually had to make some phone calls to get it official. I was gonna put out another video of me talking about all this stuff, but I decided not to, because the same day that I made that video, that's when they told me you're done with it. So I didn't put the video out. But from doing a lot of extensive research and getting on the FMCSA's own website, you know, fmcsa.gov, I learned that the minimum amount of time for step 6 in the SAP program is 1 year. It has to be at least 1 year. It doesn't matter how minuscule the drug test failure was. If you fail a drug test and you get to step 6, the minimum amount of time that you're going to have for follow-up testing is 1 year. Period. And so after I realized that, I had also realized that 1 year had passed from the return to duty test that I took. That happened on August 29th last year. That's when I got put back into service. So it's going to be 1 year from the date that you submit that return to duty test that you obviously passed to get put back in service. So you have to be in service for 1 year. And from what I understand, in order to be qualified as being in service, you actually have to be employed. You have to have a job, or you're not going to get those follow-up tests sent, unless you're an owner-operator. Now, you're an owner-operator, you've got your own authority, or you're going through another company's authority, then it's a little bit different. But as far as like being a company driver, in order to qualify as in service by the FMCSA, you actually have to have a job. And that's really all I've been doing this whole time for the past year, is just fighting to keep this job and keep it going, despite how difficult things might get at certain points. But I won't talk about it anymore. I'll just say it's done, it's over. I completed the SAP program. I'm no longer a SAP driver. However, I do have this violation on my clearinghouse record. Is that going to make any difference for a company when it comes to hiring me? Well, I don't know. I'm not just going to say no. Absolutely not. It won't. Everybody's a Pharisee. Nobody's going to give me a chance because I'm not perfect. I'm not going to say that, although I kind of said that in my last video. But guys, I was just venting. I was venting. There's still a lot about this company that I want to tell you about when the time is right, that I can't talk about right now because I'm still here. But yeah, as soon as I get another job, there's a lot of stuff about this company that I've had to keep secret for the sake of myself. So yeah, I still have a lot that I want to share with you, but I'm still not ready to do that yet. Just know that I am done with the SAP program. I made it through, and you know, I've had one hell of a ride for the past year, I'll say that. Wow, look at this. This is cool. These alligators in them waters. It's pretty awesome looking. yeah, anyway, guys, like I said, I'm gonna make another video about all this stuff before it's over with. When I get another job, if I get another job, I'll talk more about this company, but I can't do that yet because there's a lot of details about how things have been, like my experience overall, and some things that I've had to deal with working here with this company for the past year that, you know, I think you guys need to know about. Let's put it this way, I'll do a review on this company and I'll tell you what I think about this company. It's not all negative. It's not all negative. There's some positive things about it. And I still appreciate this company, as messed up as some of the circumstances that this company has put me in have been. I still appreciate them for sticking their neck out and giving me a job last year when no other company out there would give me a job. You know, if it weren't for this company, then I wouldn't be a truck driver anymore. I would have had to, you know, either done something that I was totally against doing, going over the road, being gone for weeks and weeks and weeks at a time without seeing my family, or I would have just had to lay it down and say, you know what, I'm gonna have to figure out some other way to make income from this point on, because nobody will give me a job. But thankfully, because of this company, I didn't have to do that. So guys, what's happening is I'm submitting applications to like CDL Life and, you know, all these companies that share your information with the carrier companies. I'm doing short form applications, so I'm getting a lot of phone calls from a lot of different companies right now. And what I'm specifically looking for is local work in Atlanta, and I want something that's going to be close to Jackson where I live. I don't necessarily want to drive to Atlanta and then hop in the truck and go to work. If I can find something closer than that, I think I'll be the best off. Like McDonough, or hell, even Macon. That way I'm not sitting in that terrible commute in my own personal vehicle every day on the way to and from work. So if I can find something like that that's willing to hire me, I'm gonna get back into the local, and maybe even local dedicated work. I really want to look back into doing food service again, but I don't know that any company like McLean or US Foods or anything like, I don't know that they're gonna give me a job. I could try, but I don't know that that's gonna happen. And another thing is my wife, she's like adamantly against me going back to doing food service because of my knee. I've been having a lot of problems with my knee here lately, and just like it's putting an impact on my right knee doing this job, you know, carrying the heavy tarps, climbing up and down on the trailer and all that. It's affecting my knee. And guys, I explained to you before that I don't have a medial meniscus, so the cartilage on like this side of my knee, they took it all out 10 years ago. They did an open knee surgery and they just took it all out because it was like just shredded, and they couldn't, you know, cartilage doesn't heal. I've gotten like different kinds of injections for it. I've gotten cortisone shots. I've gotten what's called the rooster comb injection, where they take cartilage from roosters, You know, the cartilage that hangs off of roosters' faces. Well, they took that, I don't even know how to explain it. They took those stem cells or whatever from that, and they used it to make like implanted cartilage, pseudo cartilage, I don't know what to call it, for people that have some issues similar to what I have. And the thing about that is I got it in 2016, so it's been almost 8 years since I got that injection, and it was experimental whenever I got it. They didn't know for sure if it was actually going to work. And you're supposed to get like a series of them over a long span of time. And I got like the first series, but I was supposed to continue doing it, and I never went back to get any more. So right now I don't have health insurance. I haven't had health insurance for the past year since I got this job. So there's not a whole lot I can do about my knee at this point. So my wife is like, she's really against me going back to doing food service. She's like, if you choose to do that, then you're selfish. And I'm like, how is that selfish? That means I'm working harder for our family. I'm making a hell of a lot more money. You know, I'm putting less impact and less stress on you as far as finances go. So how is that selfish? And she's like, because you know you're not going to be able to do it for a sustained amount of time. You're just setting yourself up for failure. And if you set yourself up for failure, then you're not going to be able to work at all. So I see where she's coming from. But at the same time, it's like, man, if I'm gonna do this, if I'm gonna drive a truck, then I want to make good money doing it. And doing food service is the best way to make good money as a truck driver, if you don't mind working your ass off. And I really don't, as long as I'm getting paid well. And I'm like, say if I'm getting paid by the hour at a good hourly rate, then hell yeah. I don't mind working 70 hours a week if I get paid by the hour. I don't think anybody would. And that's just a figure of speech. Like, you're not actually going to work 70 hours every week, especially not doing local food service work. You might work 65. I mean, you might work 69 in the beginning when you're training, but you're not going to work 70 hours every single week. Eventually you're going to get more fluent with it, you're going to get quicker at it, and you're going to not have to work as many hours doing it. That's what happened when I did do food service. I started out, maxing my cycle clock out every week, but then when I started getting the hang of it, getting better at it, my time spent working each week drastically reduced. It went from like working 68 hours a week to only working like 50 hours a week, just because I was able to get that much more efficient at doing it. And I enjoyed doing it. If you guys watched my food service videos that I put out there, I don't know if you guys could tell, but I was having fun out there. I had my points of being frustrated, sure. It's like that with any job, but I still had a good time doing it. I like that action-packed, you know, work-based, like labor-based kind of work in a fast-paced environment where efficiency is your key, it's your goal. And yes, you will encounter customers. You have to concern yourself with customer service and accuracy with numbers. But you also have to exercise your skill at driving a truck. You have to be very precise with maneuvering and all that stuff. It's such a multifaceted, layered skill set in food service. And that's why I liked it so much. It didn't ever get boring. I never reached a point doing food service where I got bored. Except for maybe when I was waiting on customers to show up so I could give them their stuff. But other than that, I just work my ass off doing it. And when you're working that hard and you're working that quick, time flies. It's when you have to spend time sitting at docks, or spend time waiting on customers and all that's when things start to slow down to a crawl and it gets unbearably boring. That's why I don't want to freaking touch reefers. That's why I don't want to haul frozen food, is because those guys, when they deliver, they sit at the shippers, they sit there for hours and hours and hours. Sometimes they might sit there for days. And I can't do that. I can't do that crap. I gotta be moving. I gotta be doing physical activities, or I'll lose my mind after so long. So yes, I prefer touch freight jobs. I really do. I like to do something. I like to drive the truck, but I like to mix it up where I'm doing other stuff. I don't want to just drive. That gets so old after so long.